Victory Mondays, they are undefeated. Sub for Raiders dubs. I understand that it was a wild game, no doubt about it. And I didn't really think that I was going to be sitting up here doing a Victory Monday show after I really thought the Raiders were going to blow another 17-3 lead at halftime. But they found a way to just win, baby. So if you're hyped up after the Raiders win, hit that subscribe button. Coming up, one hell of a show here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we got some game balls to give away after a roller coaster of emotions game against New England in Week 15. Also, the Raiders' current playoff chances, and I'm going to show you what the percentages are if the Raiders continue to win those games, because the number is a lot more surprising than what people want to believe. So before I give away my 5 game balls, what player that was repping the silver and black yesterday would you give a game ball to? Offense, defense? I'm going to be looking at some of the answers down in the comments. First game ball, I got to give it to wide receiver Keelan Cole. He saw 2 targets, and he brought in both of those and the game-winning touchdown catch. Now, don't get me wrong. I got a photo of the Keelan Cole catch, which is controversial. But you know what? When you get a big-time moment, you got to step up. And it was a difficult play late in the game, 32 seconds left, and Cole made the play. Now, I'm going to show you the picture here, which I've tweeted out, and I'm a little bit trolly at times. And I was like, it's clearly a catch. I know a lot of people are going to look at this, and they're going to see it. The thing is here, the cleat is black, okay? So it's definitely close. I think the fact that it was called a touchdown in the game, that's why the call stood. If it would have been called out of bounds, there would not have been enough evidence to overturn it. But I do find it funny that Patriot fans are upset after a bad call to Raider fans. Yeah, tuck roll, tuck that. Let's go to the next one coming in here. Malcolm Koonce. Malcolm Koonce didn't really get that many snaps in this game, but you know what? He finally had some more opportunities to shine, and he did, and he made one of the biggest plays of the entire game. So I'm going to move away here a little bit. That way I can show you this blocked punt by Koonce. The game is 10-3. Not a lot of time left before the end of the second half. Koonce jumps the ball, incredibly. As soon as the Patriots called hike, he was just a freaking Ferrari blowing down the interstate, 0-60 in under 2 seconds. Huge block, which then set up a major Raiders touchdown, which gave you the lead of 17-3. Let's face it, the way that game went yesterday, if the Raiders were up 10-3 going into half, do you think they would have won it? Maybe, because it seems like they just blow away double-digit leads. So, Malcolm Koonce, Keelan Cole, 2 players that, as far as I'm concerned, definitely deserve some game balls. And I got 3 more game balls to give away. Plus, I got to give some shout-outs to the MVPs of our Raiders Report show. Over 100,000 people were watching. But if it wasn't for our sponsor, Rocket Money, we wouldn't be able to make today's show free. So go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. If you're trying to save money out there during the holidays, if you use apps on your phone or subscriptions that, let's face it, you shouldn't be using, this app is going to help you save some money. So let me tell you how easy it is. Get started at rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions they forget about. Maybe for you, it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. This is a great app I use that helps me track all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows all the subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. So get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. Seriously, you could save hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/LB Raiders. We're always trying to help you guys out, whether it's a cool sponsor that helps you look like an awesome Raider fan, dressing nice, but also saving money is very important as well, which we can all agree on. So thank you to Rocket Money, and thank you to everybody who supports the Raiders Report. Other people here that deserve some love on this show, I'll tell you what, I've done this show for a long time, and yesterday was unlike anything I've ever seen. We set multiple records as a company, and huge shout-outs to Sweet Jazz 2007, which their super chat actually came in right when we ended the stream, so I still owe you a bang! Steven Montanez, Matthew Schaefer, Jay, Mark. We got some other goats in Trivan, Raider Ron, Wild 114. Shout out to Johnny Silva, who showed up late in the show and was rocking Hootie Lord, Raiders podcast, Patrick B. And I always try to give an MVP out. But yesterday, there was just 3 people to me that absolutely deserve to be the MVP. And you know what? I entered yesterday with 4 people on our Raiders Report Mount Rushmore, and I am very, very proud to say that now we have 5 people on the Mount Rushmore. Huge shout out to Raiders Podcast. He stayed true to his word. And then Wild 114, I got to do another chip challenge for him. And then freaking Raider Ron just showed why he is another name that deserves to be on Mount Rushmore. I tried to get him on at our post-game show, but he messaged me, and I quote, "I'm too drunk to come on your show right now." I was also too drunk to taste the chicken as well, Ron. Maybe later on Thursday we can get you on the Raiders Report and have a little bit of a good time, because I know you're a good time. Let's go to more game balls here. Raiders defense and special teams. I know a lot of people at times like to bicker and talk about the defense in a negative light, which absolutely it's deserving so. But over the past few games, this defense has showed up, and special teams also showed up for you because the offense wasn't great yesterday. No doubt about it. Total yards allowed by the defense, 318. You had a block punt, which we just saw from Malcolm Koonce. You had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Shout out to Chandler Jones on one of the wildest plays I've ever seen. In the red zone, the Patriots were 0 for 1. On third down, New England 2 for 13, and you only allowed 17 points. The Raiders' offense is what really was hurting the team yesterday. I mean, you want to talk about numbers. Raiders' offense yesterday had 13 penalties. All 13 of the penalties yesterday were on the Raiders' offense. That's bad. Defense stepped up, and also shout out to the special teams. Let's go to the next game ball here. I know some people think I'm a Derek Carr hater. I'm just an emotional, passionate fan. When I watch the games, when it's bad, it's bad. When it's good, it's good. Derek Carr deserves a game ball. Why? Because quarterbacks are judged on how they play late in the game. And Derek made the necessary throw late in the game to Keelan Cole to get a touchdown. Was the pick a bad play? I think you could blame the interception on McDaniels for just drawing up way too easy of a play, and then hell of a job by Kyle Duggar to put his foot in the ground, get north and south, pick off DC. But that game, when that pick happened, I go, oh, shit. Here we go again. You're about to blow 5 double-digit leads. But even though DC did not have his A game, and I'm going to ask y'all right now, what would you grade Derek Carr's performance against New England? It's not an A, but that's okay because you came away with a win and you stepped up late in the game. And I'll be honest, man, I didn't think it was going to happen. I really didn't. So A, B, C, D, or F, I want to know your grade for DC up against New England. And the final game ball, it's got to go to the MVP. His name, it's Chandler Jones. And realistically, you look at how well Jones has played over the past 3-4 weeks. The Raiders' defense has elevated its game, and it's because of number 55. He was my MVP in Week 13 against the Chargers for a 3-sack performance. And then yesterday, it was a top 5 craziest endings to a game I've ever seen. I mean, it's got to be up there. 2 tackles, 2 PBUs. He had a fumble recovery, 2 quarterback hits, and then the touchdown. I was trying to go back and look at my game call on that, and one of our buddies here at Chat Sports, Harrison, he was like, dude, your call on that was just all over the place because that's what happened. There's 4 seconds left to go in the game. Freaking New England runs it. They're running the football. I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's going to get up to the 30, 25-yard line. Then he pitches it back, and then some other dude pitches it back right to Chandler Jones, and Chandler Jones introduces his hand to Mac Jones, which Jeremy during our live show said that's Jones on Jones crime. If y'all can come up with a name for the ending of this one, I need to know. I also can't wait to see what Mac Jones's PFF tackling grade is because if it's not 0, it should be 0. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to face Chandler Jones either if I was a quarterback. But what a hell of a game, man. What an absolute hell of a game. Those are all my game balls for Las Vegas. If I missed out on any players, please let me know. I know some people want to give a game ball maybe to Darren Waller, who had a touchdown, maybe Matt Collins. To me, though, Waller still had a few too many plays, like the one route where he ran right in front of Devontae Adams would have been a wide-open catch for Adams. Other players deserve shout-outs. Jacob deserves a shout-out, but to me, those were the 5 players, positions that deserve game balls. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, can the Raiders make the playoffs? And I'm sorry if I sound terrible. My throat is killing me. We were celebrating all freaking night last night. Hell, people were sending in super chats telling Chugs and I to go the hell home. So what we're going to look at now is the AFC playoff picture. And you got the Bills and the Chiefs at 1 and 2. The Bengals, they actually just jumped up to number 3. Titans at 7 and 7 and number 4. But realistically, what Las Vegas is going to be looking at is that wild card race. You got the Ravens at 9 and 5, the Chargers at 8 and 6, and then the Miami Dolphins as the 7th seed at 8 and 6, and then New England and the Jets 7 and 7, and then a just bunch of teams at 6 and 8. Technically, due to tiebreakers and strength of schedule, common opponents, all that kind of good stuff. Jacksonville is above Las Vegas, and then it's actually in that order. So Jacksonville, LV, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. So, you ready for ultimate glass half full mentality, which is what this season has to be. But you have to have that mentality. I tried to wear the Lucky Raiders jersey yesterday. I guess it's lucky. We're going to wear it again against the Steelers. But after the Raiders beat the Patriots, their playoff chances went from 3% to 6% to make it. That's what it is right now, 6%. But you know what? Last season, the Raiders were 6 and 7. Nobody gave them a shot in hell to make the playoffs. They won their final 4 games, and they ended up getting in. So, when I show you right now the Raiders' remaining games, the Steelers have been playing much better football. Brock Purdy, maybe he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. I'm kidding. It's just the 49ers from top to bottom. They might be the best team minus a quarterback in the NFL. And then week 18, you got the Chiefs. It's not going to be an easy road. But if it would be an easy road, it wouldn't be a Raiders road. So do you believe that the Raiders can make the playoffs? Y for yes, or is it an N for no, man? I hope that they can do it, obviously. It's definitely going to be an up and down. You got to believe, though, right? You got to believe. That's at least why we're here. That's why we're watching on Monday for a 6 and 8 team. A 6 and 8 team dictates how happy I am for an entire week. That's a crazy thing to say out loud. But that's life as a Raider fan, man. So as it stands right now, the Raiders are 6 and 8. Let's say they beat the Steelers. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Chiefs. You go to 9 and 8. According to the New York Times, their simulator puts the Raiders at a 59% chance to make the playoffs if you win your next 3 games. If you lose any game whatsoever, it goes down to less than 1% chance. So from here on out, it's playoff football. And I said it yesterday on the show. I was told by a very good source that these final 4 games are really going to dictate the future of Derek Carr and what he's going to be and whether or not he's going to be on the team next season. I get it. I'm a person that says it all the time. Derek's never played in playoff games. I'll say those final 4 games last season, big-time games, they got in, they found a way. If you can win these final 3 games, Derek Carr is going to be back next season. If not, sorry, it's not going to happen. So here we go. After looking at all those numbers, the playoff chances, the teams that we got coming up here, if you believe that the Raiders can make the playoffs, just type believe it, baby. I need to see some believe it, babies. I need to see who the real ones are at, because if we woke up early this morning, we wanted to get you a video, and I know I'm not the only one that's a little bit hungover. So if you watched today's Raiders reporting, you made it this far, and you believe, even if it's just about 6%, type believe it, baby, down in the comments.